Hey family, it's Tasha, Mom Bear Prepping. You already know what time it is, baby. Get your drink, pull up, let's talk about it. So first thing I want to get out is this MREs. You guys, as you know, I come up and I do my video content first thing in the morning. And I go with my gut, I pray, I ask God. And every single day I've gone up this week, I've been like, no, you're not talking about no MREs, no homemade MREs. So I think I'm just going to have to do a side video just real quickly, show you guys what I did, what I came up with, basically just do another video and just throw it into the mix and not have it be a 2 o'clock video, okay? Because I feel like the 2 o'clock videos, or 5 o'clock for some of you guys, 4 o'clock for some of you guys, maybe totally other different times for some of you guys, are the bangers. Those are the ones that I get discernment, I get, that's what we should be talking about, okay? And so today is no different. This one came quickly. And I was just thinking about, me and hubby, we do a lot of our preparedness throughout the year on the next season, right? It's always about the next season. What do we need to do for the season that's approaching and then the season after that? So we're already discussing winter, of course, but summer's right around the corner. So we're discussing, right? And we're prioritizing what needs to be done still, but also what needs to be done first, depending on what season we're about to hit, okay? And summer's coming. And I think summer's coming hard and fast. And there is a lot of stuff that you can expect to happen this summer. And I just want to go over those. I'm going to go over 6 things that I think you could expect and put your money on is going to happen and that you're going to have to deal with. And if you haven't thought about preparedness wrapped around these areas, I feel like you may be behind, okay? And that's not to panic, especially those of you who are just starting and you're getting your footing and then the last thing you want to hear is you're behind and you don't have enough and all this stuff, right? All I'm saying is think about these areas I'm about to talk about today. Think about these things that are going to happen. How would they affect you directly in your family? And then you just start preparing. You start writing your list. You start deciding the things you need and you're going to prioritize what's important, okay? And for us, we like to do that by seasons, okay? I'm also going to give you, because I don't like to just leave you hanging, I don't want this channel ever to become a channel where I just sit here and discuss what's happening. I just sit here and discuss the news as if you can't see it for yourself and tell you, this is going on, and not give you solutions, to not give you tips, to not give you at least at a minimum what I'm personally doing. So hopefully that jogs your excitement or your memory to do something else, right? Pushes you into another direction. Like, oh yeah, she said something that made me think about something else. And then you go off in that direction, okay? And that's what I like to do too, to make sure that I'm giving something to brand new preppers, brand new people that are getting into the importance of preparedness, but also my senior folks who have been doing this. And I don't mean senior like old. I just mean senior as in seasoned, have been doing this game for a while, have been growing your own food, have animals, self-sufficiency. You have your preps, you have your stuff for grid down. I mean, you've been planning, okay? You've been doing this for years, if not decades, okay? So 6 things that I think you can bank your money on that are going to happen this summer to prepare for, and then 8 tips I'm going to give you. Okay, so first one is extreme food decline and the riots to come after that. Okay, I think that every day that goes by gets a little bit worse. It's kind of a very slow crawl, and it's like we're standing at the top of the buildings and we're saying, get your food, the sky's falling, and everybody's like, the sky is just fine. You know what I'm saying? There's a little rain, it's gonna storm a little bit, but the sky's not falling. And hey, I pray the sky doesn't fall, right? But to me, I'm like, why would you not prepare if there's a very good chance the sky's gonna fall, okay? So get your food, get ahead of that, because that's going to start to decline this summer. You're going to start seeing stuff decline in a big way, where majority of groups of people start to realize, wow, what is happening to the food? I think people that are totally asleep right now, totally asleep, the sheep, that's what I'm talking about, just have no clue what's going on, that all of a sudden they're going to be like, whoa, what's going on? there's no food, or the stores are way lighter on food. What's happening? What has caused this? Is it the war? And that's all they're going to think. They're going to be like, oh, it's the war. And not even understand the big picture of what's going on and the attack on our food and all of this stuff. The gas prices for truckers. I mean, you name it. I could go on all day just for the reasons of the food situation. But I think the difference is you're going to see a major decline this summer. You're going to start to physically see it. And I think that's going to result in riots. People need, certain people will use any issue to get out and riot during summer. Summertime is crazy. Big cities love to riot. They like causes. They like to have agendas and riot. And food is going to be a huge one, because if you don't have food, people starve. Okay. And, it's not a big deal. We have a saying in my home: it ain't a big deal until it's a big deal, right? It ain't something to worry about until it's something to worry about, right? There's food in the stores until there's not food in the stores. Right? I mean, this is how it is. And a lot of people are not going to peep game until it's gone, until something has happened. Okay. Next thing I think you can expect is heat wave. Baby has already started in a lot of the part of this country. Okay. Heat wave. We are still getting rain, and we are expecting a hot one. Anytime our winter gets extended a little bit longer into spring, and lasts a little bit longer. I mean, we just had snow in the mountains, right? So anytime that happens, it's normally a very hot summer here. Those southern states already getting hit with crazy hot weather, okay? So I think that you're going to have to worry about heat, preparing for heat, and this is the most important aspect of it. Prepare for heat waves with the blackout issues, okay? That means you need to be preparing your home and how to cool it with no power. What happens for these rolling blackouts, brownouts, whatever you call it, okay, whatever happens, you need to be prepared on how you plan to keep your home cool when you don't have, power, okay? You don't have power to run the 50 fans you have, to run your AC, okay? You don't have it, right? So what do you do? What can you do? Lots of videos out there. I did a video several months ago on how to keep your house cool, grid down. There's a lot of options, okay? If you've got a solar generator, start pulling your fans out now, plugging them in, seeing which ones they'll run. A lot of the smaller ones will run fans, okay? Not for forever, right? But you can, do your homemade cooling down options, right? And then in the heat of the day, turn a fan on, okay? You can decide how to do that. Maybe it's smarter to turn them on in the morning when it's cool to get that air good, and then you close it up. You're gonna know by practicing what's best for your area and your house, the way it's situated, windows, direction of the sun, all of that stuff matters. Okay, so it's hard for me to tell you exactly what the plan needs to be, but there's a lot of tricks and tips that you can do. But a heat wave is coming, and you need to prepare for blackouts coupled with that, because that's the worst. Okay, heat wave, people are like, I can deal with it. I got AC in my car. I got AC in the house. We're fine. Until there's a stinking blackout. And then you're not fine. And then you literally have exposure. You have people dying from heat exhaustion, heat strokes, all that nasty stuff, okay, that nobody knows about, right? Which is just another, I'll get on a tangent, okay? Next thing I have, third thing on the list, is hurricane season. So hurricane season happens every year, no big deal. It's something that folks that live in a hurricane area know about, right? Track, well versed in. I don't have to tell you folks how to prepare for a hurricane, because you could teach me a thing or two. What I will tell you though is that they're reporting that this is going to be one of what they're calling an above average hurricane season, and they're predicting several named storms, but out of those dozen, right, 3 to 6 of them they're talking are a major storm, like Cat 5 or 4 or 5, 6, like big, right? Big storms, 3 to 6 of them, you guys. One coming through is crazy. They're talking about bad stuff, right? Like stuff that's going to outplay older, hurricanes, right? We lived through Hurricane Katrina. I wasn't even in the crazy part of it. We were in Mississippi, right? We weren't in Louisiana. Just craziness, the stuff that happened, the devastation that happened where we lived in Gulfport. It was horrible, okay? And so, again, I can't tell you how to prepare. You know how to prepare. But what's interesting is, because I've heard a lot of people reporting this, oh, it's going to be the worst hurricane season, and it's going to be a doozy. And they're saying it's going to be a doozy. So definitely something you need to prepare for, stock up, make sure you have all the things that you're already supposed to have for that. If you're new to the area and you've never gone through a hurricane, baby, you better be talking to those folks down there and figuring out your preps and what's needed for that. How long does it last? How long do you normally go without power? And prepare for that, okay? But on the other hand, what it's saying is, like, the last 7 years have been what's called above average hurricane seasons, okay? So on one point they're saying, well, it's no different, but on another point they're saying, but it's going to be bad, right? It's going to be bad. And so will it be worse? I don't know, you guys. They're very vague when they're talking about, oh, it's just above average. And that's very vague, okay? So I know a lot of folks have been tracking this, but I've been talking about weather for a while. Weather has been just crazy all over the country, to the extreme of all things: floodings, tornadoes, hurricanes, crazy weather, heat patterns, crazy rain. I mean, you name it, we're getting tested all over the place with changes when it comes to weather, which, directly affects growing food and growing crops. And you take something that you're learning how to do with your hands, and now you have to totally adjust because of weather. Okay. So it's super important for you to be savvy on weather and growing, and really staying on top of that and weather patterns and these changes, so that you can continue to be successful. Because even the best gardener maybe has been gardening 10 years, and you start throwing this crazy weather in, and people are just like, they lose crops, they lose stuff, and then they get demotivated, like, I can't do this anymore, because they have to stay so on top of it. I'm only in my second year, and I'm constantly watching the weather and the garden. And I've had some downfalls already, you guys. I haven't let it stop me, but I can only imagine if some of these folks that have large crops and had like a hailstorm that just totally destroyed something, so I understand, okay? You have also people, just on that note, weather and stuff, you have folks that, normally would be growing food by now, and they're having to hold back. They're waiting. They're still getting frost. They're still getting cold. And so you got to adjust your game. You got to figure it out, so that these next seasons that are coming up, you're prepared for these changes. Number 4 thing I have, I'm so exhausted. I don't even want to talk about this, but this summer, medical crisis. It's going to be all over. I think it's going to be the pox that's happening right now. It's still going, you guys. We've got 9 cases. It's actually in our state. We have a case. I don't like it. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about it. I don't like it, deep down in my gut. I don't like it. I don't trust it. I hate it. Okay. Not to mention the regular stuff that we've been dealing with the last 2 years is creeping up all over the place. So trust and believe that if not both, one of those things is rearing its ugly head this summer. Okay. If it's not both of them. Hep in children. Another child just passed away and died, you guys. And they have no idea how our children are getting this hepatitis. Okay. This is scary. This medical crisis drama is never going to stop, because it plays right into social agendas, Great Reset, New Order. It plays into that. So they're going to continue to use it and really play it up. You just need to keep your head on a swivel for yourself and your family. Make sure you are tracking it. Even though I'm sick to death of tracking it, I'm going to continue to track it, okay? And I'm going to continue to make sure that we're always prepared, that we have everything we need. I just did a big order yesterday of all the things I need to treat the pustules, the bumps, right? Pox bumps. I did a bunch of research, got all my stuff that I want to be able to treat somebody with those in home. And so, I got that order done, right? Some of that stuff I already had, but just topped it off, right? Just things to think about. Get the things that you need. That's all I'm saying. Get your house in order and know and trust and believe that we will be dealing with some sort of medical crisis this summer. Absolutely. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth thing on my list is insane inflation. And I think the ticker or the number one thing that we're going to be talking about and that we're going to physically be dealing with is gas. I think that the prices are going to go insane. And I think inflation overall for everything, you guys, is going to continue to go up. It's just smart to continue to buy stuff because I promise you, everything you buy today that's hurting your soul to buy and pay for is going to get to a point where you absolutely cannot. It goes from hurting your soul to wow, we're just never getting that again. We can't buy that. We're not getting it. Okay. Me personally, I'm about to go on a binger on pressure canning meat. I'm about to go on a bender, whatever. I'm about to get into it with preserving food, preserving meat. I'm about to do a ton of soups. I'm about to do a ton of meats. And I'm about to just, every day, I'm about to just really, really get into it hardcore and start stacking the pressure canned foods. Okay. I have a ton of that stuff. I've pressure canned, but I'm about to turn up the heat. Okay. And it has to do with inflation, we have to do it. Okay. One thing I want to talk about too, people that prepare, is it's hard because you have families who have prepared, have saved over the years. And because inflation's so bad, they are using their preps now to get through what's happening now, right? They're like, no, I'm not going to buy that meat because I have meat, I have a year's worth of meat on the shelf, and they're just choosing to not spend the money, and they're eating their preps, right? Now you're supposed to eat your preps. You have to rotate food. You have to do that. It's not like you put food away and you never touch it. Okay. But what I'm saying is that they're eating down or using down your preps more than you're replacing, and you're not keeping going because inflation. And so I would say, if you're one of those people, I'm also one of these people in regards to, we got here in the last 4 months, we've been crazy on the house, and have not been concentrating on preps. And so we have used some of our preps. So I'm talking about people like me who have made some other priorities over the last few months. And because we've been using preps. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to fill those holes back up. You have to get it back up to where it was before, okay? And then keep pressing past that. And then the last thing I have, to be honest, I hope this doesn't become anything, but it's something that I prepare for mentally. Our family prepares for what it looks like or what could happen on a two-front conflict. That means a conflict with two different countries. That means some sort of conflict with NATO and Russia, as well as trying to fight, China because of Taiwan. The two are different because you're talking about, boots on ground. We will send people to Taiwan. That will be a real war right away. Physical bodies, physical troops, our men and women of the service will be involved in that 100%. The NATO stuff, maybe it stays at bay, right? For now, hopefully. But again, if I'm an enemy, if I see another enemy attacking my enemy, that's the prime time to do whatever it is I want to do and to execute my hardest hits as well, because it's no secret. We have our own generals talking about we can't handle a two-front war. Now, let me tell you, don't sleep on America. We are bad. We are bad to the bone. We really are. However, there is a concern of how physically could we do a two-front war. I'm not worried about, do we have enough weapons? Do we have enough missiles? Do we have enough equipment? I am worried about equipment in regards to ships, right? But overall, I think we're good. The problem is, physically, how physical of a war is it with both of them? If we get in a physical hand-to-hand combat type of war, boots on ground war, can we handle that with both and still have enough, you guys, here? I think that because our citizens are still armed, that anybody would second guess just landing on our soil. That's just my opinion. But even if they never do, a two-front boots on ground war, you know, is not cool, and is not something that I'm trying to see if we can handle. However, I am trying to prepare my family for, you know, okay, if that happens, how does that affect us directly? What will happen? What will we not be able to get? And I'm telling you right now, from all the stuff we get from China, people will be hurting because there is a ton of supplies that will just stop. We just absolutely, I think they will hardcore shut us off. And I've been saying with the stuff that's going on with them, I think part of that is hardening their folks for the time of, you know, hey, those workers don't have jobs because they're not sending that stuff to the States anyway, right? We'll see. That's all I got to say on that. And all you can do is pray that nothing happens. And if it does, again, pray that God keeps his hands on us during those tough times. It's going to be tough, okay? And I hope it doesn't happen. But there's a lot of chatter that there's something brewing on that Chinese-Taiwan front, that they are planning to possibly make a move finally this summer. I don't know. You know how I feel about timelines and people giving timelines. I don't know, you guys. Will I be surprised? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I will not be shocked if they did something this summer. And I will not be shocked that Russia would escalate should that happen. I won't, okay? Okay, so let's get into these 8 tips. A lot of this stuff you guys I talk about all the time, but you know we got new people. Let's put it out there. First thing I just did was, I already talked about this a little bit earlier, and that's prioritizing what needs to be done and put it in order of what needs to be done. That's how you stay from being overwhelmed with what's happening and what needs to be done, right? That anxiety, that stress, like, oh, there's 1,000 things to do. No, but if you write those things, those 1,000 things that you need to do, write them down and then put them in order. I need to do this first. I need to do this second. That way, if you run out of money, you run out of something, you know, we just run out of time, whatever. You have the most important things that were the most important to you and your family done first. Okay, so put them in order. It gives you a plan. It gives you order. It gives you purpose, and you slowly start working that list down. For us, like I said earlier, we do seasons. What do we need this summer? What do we need left for this summer? What do we need for fall? We're already talking about fall and winter. What is it that we want? What type of preps do we want for the house? What extra fortification? What is it that we want to get ready for winter, right? Next thing I have is organize the inventory. Again, just doing this, you guys, just organizing and inventorying will give you more space. If you have a room that you're just throwing stuff in, you have a closet, you're just throwing stuff in, take the time to organize that, and you will be so surprised how much space you have. Get you some organization, shelving or drawers or dressers or whatever it is, totes. Organize that stuff, stack it neatly, put things together that need to be together. Do it like that because 1, you can clearly see because you're putting eyes on stuff over and over. But 2, it really, you will have so much space. You could take a full food pantry. This was like last year before we moved. I'm like, I'm going to reorganize my pantry because I wanted to put like all meats together, all soups together, all the fruits together. I wanted to really organize it. By organizing it, I probably cleared and had space, 2 more shelves of space. So when I went in there before, it looked totally cram-packed. Like I couldn't put not one more can of anything in there. I took it all out, redid it. I ended up with 2 full shelves, clear shelves to add more food, okay? So organize. Next thing is fill the holes now. That's the biggest tip I have is after you've inventoried, after you've seen what you have, fill your holes. Again, make a list of the things you need and then prioritize on that list which ones are the most important and get those holes filled first, right? I have to have this. It's a life-saving item. Let's stack up on it. This is more important than this prep. Let's get this first, okay? Hide your food. I hate having to say this, but I'm so distrustful. I don't think this is something we have to worry about now or soon per se, but I want you to get in the mindset of hiding food now. You need to put food away, hide it in plain sight, bury it. I don't care what you have to do. Make false walls, make false backings on shelving. There's all types of furniture that you can buy to hide food in. Hide your food. Hide your food, okay? That's all I'm going to say, okay? That's like the biggest future food concern issue thing that you need to do. Next thing is fortify. I talk about this all the time. Security, fortification of your home, being a hard target, not being a soft target, deterring criminals from coming on your property and trying to take things from you, to break into your home. You've got to do that, okay? Weatherizing, talked about this heat that's gonna come. Winter will follow after that and will be hard. Weatherizing your home, getting ready for weather events, getting ready for flooding, getting sandbags, things like that. Getting ready for this hurricane season and all the things that go into that. The wood, inflation, it hurts that. Let's just say you bought a house recently in that area and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go get all the stuff to get ready for a hurricane. Man, just buying wood right now would be crazy for your entire house to cover those windows and stuff. Just exhaustive and expensive, okay? And so weatherizing can be expensive in general, no matter where you live. And so just, again, making your list, figuring out what you need to do, which products you want to do, what do you think is the most important, okay? And getting those things done, okay? Aggressive gardening. And when I say aggressive gardening, you're thinking about the future. You're thinking about, what are you doing now? It's not too late to start your spring season. Get your stuff in the ground. Figure out what you are learning, right? I'm learning all types of stuff. I'm learning that starting seeds inside, those plants are not as successful as me direct sowing outside. Here where I'm at, so in California, starting seeds inside were great. Put them outside, flourished. Here, not so much. Okay. It's better if I either buy established plants that are already started and or everything I've direct sown has took off. Okay. I think the only thing that hasn't popped yet was mullein, and somebody told me that takes a while to pop. So I'm not sure if that is a dead one or not, but everything that I've direct sown, it has popped up. Okay. So I'm learning that. Learn everything you can get all the garden stuff you need. Be thinking about next season, be thinking about winter and fall, what you're going to grow, plan it out, get the things, get the seeds, get everything that you possibly think that you're going to need for gardening for now and in the future. And then the last thing I have is aggressively, which I already spoke about, I'm going to do myself. And that is step up your game in food preservation, right? If you have a food saver right now with some bags, go in your kitchen right now, look in your pantry, look at things that are going to go stale in the next 2 weeks and just vac seal them right now. Just take the kids' cookies, vac seal them. Just take a bag of cereal and just vac seal it. You know what I'm saying? You can do it in jars. You can do it in vac seal bags, Mylar bag, whatever. Just take something and start doing it, right? Take the bag of M&Ms you have. Take a bunch of small jars, right? Put some packs in there. Vac seal them up, right? Put them away for a rainy day, okay? Just start, okay? Dehydrator should be running all the time, okay? Right now I have 2 dehydrators. I have an older one that I picked up from a garage sale and I have a smaller one. I'm like, no, it's time. I'm about to get the big one. It's time. I can't do enough with the ones I have. The older one I have is quite large, but it's older, right? It's not as well, right? Even my smaller one just dehydrates a lot faster, but it's a smaller surface. Okay. So even me, I'm like, okay, I think it's time for me to upgrade and get Excalibur, something, a bigger dehydrator. And then I'm going to start pressure canning like my life depends on it, because it does. Okay. So aggressively preserving food, drying, water bathing. Take a piece of paper, sit down and just say, hey, what's 10 things that I want to pressure can? Put them in order. Okay. I'm going to do stew first. I'm going to do this other soup first, whatever it is. Okay. I want to get butter done. Okay. I want to make some jams. I want to get this done. I want to get this done. I want to get some veggies done. Whatever it is, make your list and do it. What's the next 10 things you want to dehydrate? Okay. What's 10 snacks that you want to vac seal? Okay. What are 10 things you want to put in jars and vac seal? Could be anything: beans, rice, snacks, crackers, anything. What's 10 things you want to put in some jars and vac seal? Okay. Just get it done. Get it done. Don't stop. Time is against us. And it's going to be a crazy summer. And it's not going to stop with summer, you guys. It's not like, oh, we just have to get through summer. No, it's going to be a hardcore summer, but it's going to go right into fall and winter. And this stuff is not stopping. Okay, it's just going to keep gaining momentum. It's just how bad does it get? And what is all the little sprinkle drama that happens in between all this stuff that I'm talking about, right? And handling it. So I think you guys will do great. I have faith that you guys got this. Again, don't let that anxiety run your life. Don't let that stress run your life. Write it out, plan it, take a minute, get you a coffee, get you a drink, and just take some notes and write something, right? It's like the pox bumps that I wanted to research just specifically for treatment of those pustules. How do I do this? What products do I want to get in my preps to help this? And so that's what I did. And you just have to do that. You have to sit down and plan out and figure out what you're going to do and prioritize so that you don't get overwhelmed. You're not like, oh my gosh, there's all this stuff to get. Yes, there is. But take your time is in regards to planning it out and prioritizing it, and then get busy. Get busy. Okay. So I will see you guys tomorrow on the next video. I should have another video on my other channel today as well, so check that out. I think I'm gonna do a video on my favorite things to can on that channel, just for fun. If you want to head over there, help me with my hours over there, and you can see some of my favorite things that I like to can, that I can over and over and over again because I love them so much. Okay, so I will see you guys tomorrow on the next video. Take care. Bye.